I wanted a lot more to talk about with this thing. So the Isle of Armor has been released, granting us a new island to explore, some fresh and returning faces, and more Pokemon to encounter. You can start the Isle of Armor immediately by heading to Wedgehurst Station and departing from there. After making landfall, your game-exclusive rival will appear, and will show you to Mustard's dojo after a battle. From there, you're basically set loose to do whatever you want on the island. What's that huge blue blob in the distance? Holy moly, it's a Wailord, let's kill it! Play chicken with some Sharpedo, hunt down this person's Alolan Diglett, all 150 of them. He was definitely shiny hunting, that's for sure. Or you're free to take on the dojo and its few challenges it has. Probably the better starting point since it'll unlock a few other things for you. So, I'm not really sure how to word this without seeming like overly negative throughout this whole thing. I mean, it's nice that you can start the Isle of Armor at any time, from what I'm led to believe at least. Although, really, then that sort of disqualifies it as a post-game content that I kind of wanted to talk about. But, in all fairness, unless there's a very specific Pokemon that you wanted that came with the DLC for the Isle of Armor, then you're really not going to be starting it until after the post-game anyways. So, that's kind of how I'm going to tackle it, at least as an actual post-game content. And with that mentality in place, this is worse than the base game's post-game content. I mean, yes, there's a new wild area to explore, and I'll get into that later, but the story, the characters, the reasons to show up to the Isle of Armor are absolutely pointless. In terms of the dojo thing, at least. I played on Shield, so I had Avery as the rival character, and Avery is the douchiest Pokemon character I've ever experienced. Worse than Hau, worse than Bede, hell, he's worse than Hop. The only thing that would make this whole thing worse is if Hop showed up as well. God damn it! Oh god, they're in the same room together, what sweet hell is this? And the actual challenge of the dojo just feels so unimportant. The whole system behind it comes and goes within the span of a couple hours, less so if you really know the mechanics of some of the new features. Now, don't get me wrong, other games in the series have had far less in the way of meaningful post-game content and story, but here just kind of feels like they missed the mark on two fronts. One is that this is DLC, so they had lots of time to come up with something interesting to engage you with the Isle of Armor. The other is the marketing of said DLC. It might have only just been me, but I was sort of led to believe that the two DLC would focus on the two different aspects of Pokemon. Isle of Armor would focus more on battling, with the Crown Tundra being aimed more towards capturing Pokemon. And yet the Isle of Armor has very little in the way of Pokemon battles. You fight Avery and Mustard a couple times, and fight a few randoms while training Kupfu, and that's it. Yeah, the base game already had a battle tower in there, but I was hoping for something in the form of like the Battle Frontier, or just something new battle oriented. Hell, the trailer showed off doubles match between you and Hop versus Raihan and Leon that I thought was going to be released here, but instead is going to be released with the Tundra. Like, why? Okay, so my expectations for the Isle of Armor have already been let down pretty massively. So let's take a look at what's actually in the Isle of Armor, and hopefully that will kind of make up for the huge misstep it already took. The new wild area is awesome, leagues better than the base game's version of it. There's way more in the form of varying ecosystems without relying on the weather to change your perception of the area. Stuff like forests and caves, large ocean landscapes to explore too, making your bike actually feel like it's worth a damn, and even a large desert that's way better than the Dusty Bowl. After finishing most of the dojo quest, a few things can be unlocked. Least important, but really awesome, is you can let your lead Pokemon out to follow you around. I mean, man, I love that so much. There's nothing to it, but it's still an awesome feature nonetheless. More importantly, you can find max shrooms rarely strewn about the island. If you bring 3 of them back to the dojo, you can feed it to a compatible Pokemon to allow it to Gigantamax, which is fantastic. You now don't have to grind tooth and nail to get the chance to find a specific Gigantamax Pokemon just to not be able to catch it in the end. Though I don't know, I've encountered quite a few since doing the Isle of Armor and had no problems capturing them this go around, so I don't know, maybe they changed the capture rate on them. But anyways, being able to pick which one you want to Gigantamax though is great. I love the feature. You can visit the dojo and exchange unneeded items to potentially get something better with this Cramorant looking machine. You can buy recipes from the kit there, but there's no log of what recipes you get, so you're just better off going on Cerebi for those. And like I said earlier, there are 150 Digletts strewn about the entirety of the isle, and after reaching certain milestones of discovering them, the owner will give you Alolan forms or regular forms of Pokemon not capable of being found in Sword and Shield. There is the new Galarian Slowpoke that they added alongside the new Galarian Slowbro, which is neat, though I really wish they would have added like a few more Galarian forms than just one line. And yeah, there's the whole Kubfu thing. Once you get it, you can pick a tower to ascend, and when you win, that's how it evolves into Urshifu, gaining a new typing based on the tower you climbed. It's a neat Pokemon, ain't anything too groundbreaking though. And that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, I was kind of expecting something a little bit different, and this wasn't really what I got. But as it stands on its own, it doesn't really do a whole lot to mend the original post-game issues that I had with Sword and Shield. You still had to pay for this DLC pack, and with this combined with the original post-game, gives you a combined post-game content that doesn't really feel all that interesting. Generation 4, 5, hell, even 2 and 7 have more fulfilling post-game content than the combined efforts of post-game Sword and Shield and its first DLC, which is really disappointing to me, at least, since I figured I would get a lot more from an actual DLC pack. I don't know. Hopefully the Crown Tundra will make this whole DLC pass actually worth a damn. But anywho, thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, you can click right up there to check out some of my other videos that I've done, or if you really feel like it, you can click right up there to subscribe. And until next time guys, I will see you all later.